Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 166. I'm your host, Rico, here with my co-host,
Dayne, Cody.
Dayne, Cody, and I get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and whatever the hell we like. Welcome everybody, episode 166, this fine late July evening. Nice and sunny. I just came from the beach, actually.
Look at you, Mr. I came from the beach.
Well, yeah, actually, it's kind of funny. We don't live I don't live on the beach. I don't live waterfront. I can see the ocean out of some of the windows at my house. I wouldn't say it's like amazing view or anything. But the beach is like literally like a 5-minute drive.
Yeah.
Through some farms and boom, we're at the beach. It's pretty nice.
Right.
We've been there this summer, like I think more than like the entire time we've lived in this area this summer, like the last few summers all combined.
Wow.
We've been going like 3-4 times a week.
Well, you got to make use of this wicked weather, man.
Yeah. The weather's awesome, and our daughter just loves going there, playing in the sand and playing in the ocean and throwing rocks and finding shells and stuff.
You guys actually have like a pretty good like sandy spot to play at?
There's rocks and sand and seaweed. It's a weird beach. Depending what time of day you go, sometimes obviously the tide is up and it's less sandy, and then other times it's much more sandy, and then sometimes it's just like a disgusting green mess of frickin' seaweed.
Yep,
that looks like toilet water or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which is so weird. I don't get it, because some of the other beaches on the same coastline, just down a little bit, are just no seaweed.
Right.
And or all rocks. It's a combination. Sand, a little seaweed. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not.
Well, that's cool.
There's a poke gym there, a couple poke stops.
That's why you go to the beach.
It's not a bad. Overall, it's an okay gym. There's some pluses to the minuses.
Who's winning that gym right now?
I think it's Team Mystic. I didn't have a chance to go over and take it over. Actually, it's kind of funny. We were down at the beach. My brother-in-law met us, and then there was like a big gazebo there with picnic tables and stuff, and usually someone's in there setting up shop, and on the weekends especially, right?
Oh, for sure.
What is it? Wednesday? Breaking the fourth wall here. We record on Wednesday, release on Thursday.
Yep.
There's like a big group of people having just a random Wednesday night barbecue. And it turns out it was like one of my friend's sister and husband, and some of my friends were there. And
that's funny.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. It was her dog's birthday.
Her dog's birthday.
Yeah, she was just using it as an excuse to like invite everyone to a barbecue at the beach.
That's awesome.
It was pretty funny.
That's sweet, man.
Speaking of dope weather, don't worry, people, will get on track here really quick. I just have like a funny story. If you're following my Twitter, you may have seen that I had a little emergency room visit this weekend.
I saw that, and I also saw the fact that you seem to have lost a tire.
Oh, jeez.
Let's start there.
Oh, this weekend was fantastic. I worked this weekend.
Right.
I don't work them often. And I was driving down the highway, and I think it has to do with one of the job sites I was at. I was on like super boony land, remote property, gravel, like not paved driveway.
Right.
And I think I may have ran over something or hit something when I was up in that area. So anyway,
okay. That makes sense.
I'm going back to the office to end my day, and my air indicator, low air pressure light, comes on the dash.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, cool, sweet, that's rad. And then literally like seconds after, I just hear a loud pop and feel a bunch of shit hit the bottom of the van.
Oh, yes. Wonderful.
And I'm like, oh, what the hell? And I'm like, okay, everything's fine. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. My van's like feeling all squirrely on the highway. It's like kind of floating back and forth.
Yeah.
Not like really bad because it was the rear tire, thankfully. If it was the front tire, it could have been bad. But I'm like, oh, I gotta pull over. And then I noticed in my mirror, it's like, oh yeah, I'm driving on rim. That's rim. I gotta get off the effing highway. Of course, there's no freaking shoulder to pull over on.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
hate that.
So I like got my hazards on. I'm going slow as to not totally destroy the vehicle.
Right.
Because I don't think riding on rims good for anything.
No, that's generally a very bad thing for
I was on rim, but the tire was folded underneath it, so it wasn't like rim
on pavement.
It wasn't
right.
rim on pavement. There was like tire between it, but like my tire was off the rim.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Anyway, so I had to drive for like a kilometer, and I had like my hazards on, half on the shoulder, the little shoulder. The shoulder was like a bike lane, so I couldn't get off the highway.
Oh, that sucks.
I had to go for like a good kilometer or two before there was actual grass where I could like get off the road. People were like whizzing by me so close and like barely making an effort to slow down or go in the other lane. I was like, Jesus, I'm like, I can't stop here. I'm going to die if I stop here. Let alone if when I get a tow truck here, he'll get ran over or murdered. But yeah, oh my God, that was a gong show. The sad part is like, I finally got pulled over. Roadside's there in like 15 minutes.
Wow, that's really good.
Oh, it was amazing.
Dudes were on it.
The tow truck driver couldn't get the freaking tire off.
Oh, shitty.
2 of the bolts were like either cross-threaded or just the last time it was in for service, they just did it too tight with the hydraulic gun or whatever. Or I don't know. Is it hydraulic or compressor? Whatever. Anyway. So he couldn't get them off. And I'm like, just bust the freaking studs off and put my spare on. I just want to get out of here. It's like the end of my workday. I want to go home. I don't care.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
I'll get it fixed. He's like, oh, it doesn't look good on us. And I'm like, whatever. I'm like, it gets paid for by the company. I don't care. I just want to go home.
Right.
In the end, it's like he couldn't do it. And then he had to put it on the freaking dollies, and it took forever. Oh, and then he had to give me a ride back to my office, and and that wasn't even the worst.
At least he did that.
That wasn't even the worst of it.
Okay.
So now that was the end of my shift on the weekend, and then obviously I had to work on Monday. So of course, roadside assistants decided to take it to a dealership, and they're like, I didn't want to take it to this particular dealer. And I'm not going to call out their name, even though I think they own all the Ford dealerships in my city. So,
oh, that sucks.
If you live where everyone knows where I live, you can figure out who it was.
Gotcha.
I got there in the morning expecting my spare tire to be on. How hard is it to take off a tire and put on a spare?
Put a new one?
I get there and they're like, oh, we haven't even looked at it. And I'm like, what do you mean you haven't looked at it? It came at the end of the day on Saturday. You guys were still open.
Right.
Yeah, well, you didn't have an appointment. I'm like, yeah. And they planned to fucking break down on the side of the fucking road and make an appointment with you.
And they weren't open on Sunday.
No, of course not.
Because the no part / shop is open on Sunday.
No,
so
they could have at least assessed it in like 5 minutes at the end of the day there. They still
been like, open. Hey guys, we need to put a tire on this. Okay.
Yeah. And then deal with it on Monday.
Do we have a tire that we can put on here?
Well, I had a spare.
Right.
They didn't need it. And I have a full on spare, like not like a get to a tire shop, buy a tire spare. Like I had a full proper spare. I could keep using it forever, right?
Right.
Anyway, they didn't look at it until noon.
Wow.
And then at noon, the jackass there broke 3 of the studs off.
What?
In the end anyway. And then he had to order those. They didn't change my tires. I didn't get my van until 4:30. An entire workday to change a spare tire at the dealership.
Ugh. That's gross.
What a joke, eh?
That's gross. I mean,
at the same time, I didn't complain because, like,
it's not your car, etc.
It's not my car. I wasn't paying. Roadside was paying.
Yeah.
Whatever. I got paid all the same. It wasn't. But if I was like paying, oh my god, I would have like been I would have been livid. But
yeah, no kidding.
Terrible service.
That's not great. That's for sure.
No, I don't know that dealership.
Ugh.
It's Ford, by the way.
Yeah, I wanted to buy a car from them, and the dealership was so shitty that I ended up going somewhere else, even though they had the car that I wanted. And
just to top this off, the next day I went to Cal Tire.
Yep.
They repaired the damaged tire. The tire that blew. It was still repairable. They said, oh, you don't need new tires. We can repair this. They repaired the tire, repaired the air sensor, put it on, took the spare off, and, put it back underneath the vehicle.
Yep.
In like 25 minutes.
Yep. To be fair, those guys are awesome.
They didn't have to deal with the broken lugs, but
yep.
The other guys also maybe could not have broken them. I don't know. It was just a joke. What a joke. And I'm still missing a hubcap. Ooh. And I have to freaking go get new tires. Enough of that. Yeah, that was the tire story. Oh yeah, what were we talking about? We're talking about the beach.
Yeah, and then like what was it? Like the next day or the
next
or
day
Sunday?
I had a day off.
Right.
Sorry, people. We're gonna get to video games. This is an extra bonus BS section this week. I had a day off on Saturday or Sunday. Went for a little ride. Went and played some soccer, which was great. Had an awesome game. We won. Went home, did our thing, family lunch, whatever. Went to the beach for my wife was out, and me and my daughter went for daddy day, just hanging out, and she wanted to go to the beach, so we went to our beach,
for sure,
like we did tonight.
Yeah. And
we were there for, I don't know, a couple hours before my wife showed up.
Okay.
We were having a blast.
Right, yeah.
My wife shows up. We're there longer. Awesome day. Motorcycle, soccer, beach, family. It was awesome.
Right.
Go home. Daughter passes out in the car. So, whatever.
Sleep?
Yeah, she fell asleep. And we didn't want her to sleep because it was late. And it's this is going to screw up her bedtime. It's whatever. I transferred her inside of the house and put her on the couch. And we let her have a little nap, right?
Right. Okay, yeah.
So I woke her up from her nap, and she had a meltdown. Kids tantrum, freaking out, right? Rolling around, kicking around. She didn't want to get up, and she didn't want to have dinner. So then I picked her up. I grabbed her by her arms.
Yeah.
And I don't know, people who have little kids, you grab them by their arms.
Yeah, of course.
She was hysterically crying before I picked her up.
Right.
And, didn't pay no mind, just thought she was still having a tantrum, put her at the table, going to have dinner. She's still
freaking
out, not using any, my daughter can talk.
Yep.
Not a lot of 2-year-olds can talk. My daughter can talk. She can say exactly what she wants. She says full sentences. She says stories. She makes stuff up. She's hilarious.
Right.
She's people are blown away with her speech, and she wasn't saying anything.
She was just freaking out.
She was hysterically crying and almost gagging. And we're me and my wife are freaking out, thinking oh man, maybe she had heat stroke. But we throw her in a cold bath. She's still crying.
She's not saying that anything in specific hurts or anything like that.
She couldn't get anything out. And then eventually, after about 10, 15 minutes, she's starting to calm down.
Okay.
And then it's we figured it out that it was her hand or her arm. And she wasn't moving it. She wasn't moving her fingers. And if I grabbed her wrist, she would just freak out. Right. And she's ow, my hand. And then she was finally saying it was my hand. And I'm well, we literally couldn't move her arm. And we're okay, crap, I guess.
Was it the whole arm or mainly just
her hand, wrist,
wrist
elbow
area?
Down.
Oh, okay.
Elbow down. So we're freaking out. And we're
Does she have a dislocated elbow or something?
I think that's what it was.
I was going to say, it's funny. Sorry not to jump off of your story. When I was younger, I've younger, much, much, much younger brothers and sisters. And my little sister, I was watching her. I was babysitting her when, I don't know, she was probably a similar age to that. And I don't even remember what happened. But she didn't dislocate her elbow. She dislocated her shoulder. And it was kind of a similar situation. As soon as you started saying when she calmed down, it was I was trying to figure out what hurt and what didn't, and I was can you lift your arm? And she couldn't lift her arm, and we ended up having to go to the hospital, and they had to put it back in, and it was a whole thing. But it's interesting. As soon as you mentioned oh, she couldn't move her fingers and stuff, and it was her wrist. I was oh man, yeah, but it hurt.
She was choosing not to because it would hurt.
Yeah.
So she figured out as long as she didn't move her arm, she was fine.
Right.
And she's like, I'm better now. I'm better. I'm okay.
Yeah.
She didn't want to go to the hospital.
That sounds exactly like what happened with my little sister.
And then it's like, no, here, let me see. I grab her wrist and she starts screaming. It's like, no, we gotta go to the hospital.
Definitely.
I'm freaking out, thinking she broke her wrist or her arm, or even worse, it's like tendons or something. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And I'm thinking in my head, oh man, we need a cast, or she needs surgery. We're supposed to be going to frickin' Disneyland in 2 weeks. Like, what the hell?
Not to mention, like, how the hell did this happen?
Yeah. Did I do it when I picked her up, or did she do it when she was having a tantrum? I feel like crap. So we go to emergency. Did she
somehow do it, like, sleep on it weird? And, like,
I didn't even think about that when she didn't sleep on it weird. She was just on her back with her arms to her side. So she wasn't sleeping on her arms. So it was either when she was spazzing or when I picked her up.
Right.
So anyway, we go to the hospital. We live in Canada. It's free. We didn't get charged anything. Go to emergency. And then we're there for like 3 hours.
Yeah. That sucks.
Eventually, she's so more talkative now because she's pushing through the pain, and we've got it under wraps of not moving her arm.
Right.
And she's like, no, Daddy didn't do it. I did it when I was rolling. I don't know if she was just impressionable because I said, did you do it when you're rolling, or did you do it when I picked you up? Like, I don't know, but she kept insisting it was her and that I didn't do it. So I kind of felt like pretty good. Like, I literally just picked her up. I like didn't do anything. No one was angry. It was like not a heated situation. She was just like, I'm like, we got to go eat dinner. Like, let's go. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, 3 hours later, we go in and see the doctor. The doctor is like asking me the story, everything I just told you.
Yeah, for sure.
He literally just grabs her forearm, like has both his hands on her forearm and like twists it somehow.
Yep.
And then he's like, okay, just take 10-15 minutes, and if she's not feeling better, come back, we'll try something else. And I'm like, just like, what? And I'm just like, here, Adeline, the nurse had given us, you know those little tongue depression sticks?
Yep.
When you go to the doctor, the nurse gave us some of those for her to play with. But, before we saw the doctor, she wasn't moving that arm. After the doctor did that thing, I'm like, hey, Adeline, you want your sticks? She reaches for it, grabs it with the arm that she hasn't been moving for 3 hours. Like, nothing happened.
Yep.
And it's obviously the doctor moved on to go help someone else. And I kind of wish I had a chance to talk to him, because it's like, what was it? Was it her wrist? Was it her elbow? Like, what did you do? Clearly, it is something that's so common.
Yep.
That the first thing that he tried fixed her. So clearly, this is like a little kid thing.
Oh, yeah. It's surprising how often, like, when we were talking, like, I remember when it happened to my sister, the doctor was like, yeah, some people, like, they get dislocations. You just got to be careful, because if it is something that happens a lot, it can really mess with, like, the ligaments and stuff, and it can cause problems. But he's like, it's not uncommon for, like, little kids to have, for, like, an arm to come out of, like, a, like, for, like, a dislocated shoulder or an elbow or whatever.
Called it a micro dislocation.
Oh, okay. Yep.
She's like, it happens with kids all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just freaky, man. And of course, the first thing he does fix it. And I'm like, God damn, why can't we have just seen him 3 hours ago?
Yeah, that's hard.
And how, like, obviously, and the stress and the, like, sigh of relief of, like, no cast, no surgery, nothing major. Man, my wife went to some even darker places. I don't even want to say where she went, but she sees too much Oprah and all those talk shows where it's like the kid goes in for something and it's like, your kid's dying of like 50,000 things.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't go that far. I was just like, oh man, surgery or cast, this is going to be terrible. Ugh. Yeah, that was my weekend. It was an awesome weekend. Highlighted with a visit to the emergency room.
Yeah. But the beauty is that, like you said, it sucks that you had to wait for 3 hours, but the flip side is that you didn't end up with a $1,500 or $2,500 bill afterwards.
No.
So
just a happy kid. Like, she was happy. I don't know. I saw the photo. She was really happy.
Yeah. So,
I guess with that being said, Dayne, let's get into some what you've been playing. Get back on track before everyone hit the stop button. We probably already lost everyone already by this point.
Probably. Fuck, I thought this was a video game podcast. What the shit, man?
Sometimes we have real lives too.
If I wanted to listen to this crap, I would have listened to the Giant Beast cast or something. Jeez. I love those guys. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, for sure. Did You, obviously, if you've been around, you've been listening to the last few podcasts, I've been on the Mega Man kick.
Yeah.
I have beaten 2, 3, and 4 now. I think I just beat 2 maybe last time, but I have beaten 3 and 4 now.
Yeah, I think you had just beaten 2 last week. I just
beaten 2 last week. Yeah. So I did 3 and 4. I'm on 5. I'm in the last castle of 5.
Jeez, dude.
5's not very good. I don't like it as much.
All the Mega Mans are not all equal, that's for sure.
No, the music's not as good. The music's actually pretty bad.
Fair enough.
I don't know. 2 is iconic. The soundtrack on 2 is burnt in my brain.
2 is probably my all-time favorite.
Yeah, 2's really good. And 3 is really good too, because I do like the slide. So obviously,
right.
So I got to the end of 5, and you know, it's still Mega Man. It's solid, but I don't know. Some of the stage design and some of the characters and music, it's just, like the overall, like it's fine, right?
Yeah.
For me to say that, it's fine. But when you have 2 and 3, which are like, in my opinion, those 2 are freaking awesome. I'm just like, I don't know if I could keep doing this. I'm like, this is way too samey, and apparently 6 isn't much better. And I played all these back in the day when they came out when I was a kid, 30,000 years ago.
Right.
But I obviously I can't remember them, but I have beaten them all. So then I jumped into the Anthology 2 just to like take a break, because these ones are all the same. Okay. Whereas like 7 and 8 are on the Super Nintendo.
I was going to ask, what's the breakup here? Like, you've got, because I know obviously 1 through
6 is NES.
Right.
7 is Super Nintendo. Okay. 8 is PlayStation 1.
Really? There was only 1 on the Super Nintendo?
Yeah, only. Well, the Mega Man X ones were the ones that really were primary.
Oh, right. I forgot. But out of took off there.
Out of the mainline Mega Man, 7 was the only Super Nintendo one. 8 was on PlayStation, and then 9 and 10 were on PS3, PS4, Xbox 360.
Yes.
But 7...
I remember 10 coming out and being rather disappointing.
7 is Super Nintendo style, big pixels and graphics.
Okay.
8, I didn't actually play, so I don't know if it's I can't remember. I have played it, but I can't remember it. I can't remember if it's like, 16-bit, 32-bit era Mega Man, or if it's like 9 and 10, which are obviously modern consoles, but those ones are they're NES games.
Right.
Obviously with backgrounds and some cheats and stuff that wouldn't technically be possible on the NES, but they play and feel and look like an NES Mega Man. Graphically identical, like same sprite for Mega Man and animations and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like
how are you finding like the overall that they're holding up though? Like, because obviously you're played 1, 2, like those ones still held up fairly well.
2 and 3 are like, 2. I think, to be honest, I'm kind of like that's like with 5. I'm kind of like, you know what? 2 and 3 were kind of like the high points, and it's like this is just more the same, but it's like it's not as good as what came before it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I hear what you're saying.
Kind of like this feels like it should just be DLC.
Right.
But obviously they're full games. They're fine. But it's like I'm kind of like, I don't know what I got myself into. Like I almost feel like I might skip 5 and 6 and go to 7 and 8, 9 and 10, which are actually a little different. Because like 9 and 10 are pretty well received. And I think they're
10 is it's pretty disappointing, but
yeah, I never beat 9 and 10, so I feel like I own them.
Got to give it a better chance.
Yeah, I never beat them, so I feel like I owe beating them still.
Okay, fair enough.
So I don't know. I might skip. I'm at the last castle of 5. I think I might have to go the whole way. 5 is kind of cheap, and some of the bosses are not very good. And some of the stage stuff is not as good either.
Yeah.
Like it's like it's not that it's hard. It's like it's really cheap with some of the way. Like on the stage I just did, like I think it was the first it's not Dr. Wily, it's someone else, and then it becomes Dr. Wily's Fortress.
Oh, okay. It's like got just like before.
Yeah, pretty common after you beat all the robot masters in every game, then you go to Wily, right? But
right,
like in 4 and 5 and 6, there was stages before you got to Wily's castle proper, which is usually another 4, 5, 6 stages.
Interesting. Okay.
So I can't remember the name of the character stage.
Because I mean, I still remember even in 2, there's like the run up to to fighting Wily, where like you've beat everybody, but you still got to get there, right?
You're going through Wily's castle.
Yeah.
And then in like 4, there's Dr. Cossack, which is Dr. Wily stole his daughter, and like you thought he was the bad guy. It's like, no, Wily's actually the bad guy. He was forcing me to do this.
Gotcha.
And then really he's the bad guy. Number 5. Yeah, number 5 is Proto Man. I'm in Proto Man's fortress.
Okay.
I can't remember the story as to why you're going against Proto Man.
I mean, at that point, does it really matter?
No. But Proto Man I believe he ends up becoming good. Friends with Mega Man. Might be at the end of this game. Maybe it was the one before. It's all a jumbled mess now.
Fair enough. Too much Mega Man.
Yeah. Anyway. I might skip to 7 because it's quite different, even though 7 didn't get very good ratings.
Okay.
And then do 9 and 10. I might skip. I don't know. I'm so close at the end of 6. I kind of feel like I might have to freaking... I might have to beat it because I am on the castle.
Oh, I mean, you're so close.
Like, I may as well beat 5, but then I might
maybe just skip 6. Your call, though. I mean, you know.
I was playing 7, and I could barely remember it. Yeah, Mega Man 8 does have advanced graphics. They're definitely, like, above Super Nintendo quality graphics. I'm just looking at screenshots for...
Oh, okay.
For Mega Man 8.
Fair enough, man.
I know Mega Man 7, he feels totally different. Whereas the things with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then, 1 feels different, and then 2 to 6 feel the same. Because Mega Man 1 feels a little different than the rest of them. I think it felt a little, a little heavier.
Yeah, it's got like it's not as fluid, if you will, as the second one for sure.
And then 9 and 10 are definitely feel like 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. But 7 and 8 definitely feel different, but clearly they have different art styles. So yeah, that's still going along. Mega Man! And in between that time, I also beat Ghost Recon Wildlands.
You lucky bastard. I'm still like trucking along on that.
Me and Teacup beat it. I will not say my percentage because it was quite sad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we kind of like beelined it through killing all the guys we had to get to him.
I mean, like even at this point, I'm starting to do a lot more, like mainlining it a lot more, and doing.
It boils down to you have to take out 2 of the big heads below him,
right, before you can take him on.
That usually involves taking out 4 or 5 guys below one of those major heads, and then it unlocks one of the guys directly connected to El Sueño. And when you do 2 of those, then you can basically do the mission to go after El Sueño. And of course, it does after you beat it, it's like, continue taking out the rest of the cartel. So you could 100% it. It says 100% for another ending.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm just like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen because I'll be honest, I don't think I even had 50% completion rate.
That's interesting. I mean, for me, I find it such a good sandbox that I can I find myself jumping back into it from time to time just because it's such a good sandbox. There's times when I'm like, oh man, what should I play today? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, I'll just jump back in there and play some of that for a bit because it's just not even like a palate cleanser necessarily, but it's just fun to go around and just fuck around in that game. And there's just so much to do that I just kind of feel like I can jump in there for a half an hour or an hour and futz around with it.
A couple blips from the map.
Yeah, so exactly.
Shit everywhere.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. Pick up a couple skill points or take out one of the main story missions or something. You know what I mean?
I have a couple complaints. Having played it a bunch as we have lately, in some of the higher difficulty areas, I feel like the AI is super cheap.
Oh, really?
They just drop a bunch of the heavies And they literally have like heat-seeking bullets. Like,
yeah,
they can see
annoying.
They can see and shoot you from so far away, and it's like in some areas it's so dark that they don't even register on like your screen because you can't see them.
Right.
Obviously, you could use the drone and all that stuff and mark them and stuff, but sometimes it's like I don't even know where I'm getting shot from. And it's like, oh, there's like 3 heavies with heavy machine guns just unloading on my face.
Right. That's when you gotta get your 50 cal out, man, and shoot them back in the face.
I do have a big sniper rifle, but sometimes it just got really... There was a couple... But these are also the highest difficulty areas, like 5
they're like the 5 skulls or whatever, yeah.
So I found that it felt a little unfair sometimes, or cheap.
I could see that.
But at the same time, let's be honest, I was probably rushing through and playing like an asshole. Like,
I do find that game,
as if I was playing Doom or something.
Yeah, I do find like the times that I'm like, I'm just gonna go in here and just like mess these guys up, and then all of a sudden like I didn't take the time to like remove the alarms and a few other things, and then all of a sudden it's like there's truckloads of dudes rolling up, there's helicopters showing up, and I'm like, oh shit, and it's like I can still do it, but it's like, okay, this is actually gonna be a giant pain now. I'm gonna actually have to like hunker down and try and work my way through this instead of just quickly kind of doing what I was hoping to do.
It's not easy to rush in and rush out.
Yeah.
It's like I found that we kept screwing up a lot of times that we did that, and it was probably more me because I just wanted freaking missions to be done and over with. And then my other complaint was like some of the ones where it was like don't be seen, and I'm like some of those were kind of just annoyingly bad.
There's been a few times where I know it's actually funny that you mentioned that because I was doing one on the weekend actually, and it was one of those situations where like, oh, you got to do this thing, but don't be seen, but you got to like record and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And it's one of those things where it's like trial and error, you kind of have to like, you got to roll up on them, then you got to like follow them for a certain place, and then you got to figure out like, okay, well, how am I going to follow them? So, initially it was like they took off and I got caught or whatever, and then I had to restart the mission. So then I went and grabbed a helicopter, triggered it that way, jumped in the helicopter, and then like followed them like up in the air so as not to trigger stuff like that. But it's like having to restart it over 3 or 4 times is kind of annoying when you fail it for stupid things, just because they don't do a very good job of kind of explaining how, or like, I don't know. And I mean, I guess it's kind of up to you. Like, hey, don't be a jackass. Like, you're, it's supposed to be a secret organization or whatever, like of stealthy and cool and everything. But
you can take the guys out with stealth, and the only problem is just sometimes some of the areas of the map, if it's nighttime especially, you just don't see that freaking guy there, and then you get spotted, and then it's like mission over, and it's like, god damn it.
Oh, the big thing that I'm finding is like you have to use your drone, and you got to make sure you, like, especially on those higher ones, you got to make sure you can like see and figure out where the guys are, and like, and really use your night vision and your heat vision and everything else to make sure like what the hell is going on, where the people are and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm also playing it like 90% solo, so it's a little different because I'm not rushing through and stuff, right? I'm just kind of like, okay, this is what I need to do. How am I going to do this? And I don't have to like worry about somebody like Rick in there just running around and like, I'm just gonna get this shit done. Let's shoot this dude. Here,
I'm Pickle Rick.
I shot him with my sniper rifle without a silencer, and it's like, god damn it, Rick.
My sniper rifle has a freaking silencer, man. What do I look like, a scrub?
I'm just bugging. But
silencer totally works on my 50 cal sniper rifle.
Totally. Just don't be too close to people when you shoot it. Because unlike some games, just because you got a silencer on that thing does not mean the guys aren't going to hear it, as I've learned, especially with the sniper rifle. Holy balls. I was like, oh, I got a silencer on this. I'll shoot this guy over there. And this guy right, close to me won't hear it. And then the next thing I know, I got a guy running down the stairs. What was that?
My biggest screw up is I have a semi-auto sniper rifle. I don't have a 50 cal.
Oh, okay. I've got a 50 cal.
It's a really good one. I have a 50 cal, but I don't like the single shot.
I feel like mine's a semi. Yeah, I have a semi 50 cal.
Maybe I don't have it. Anyway, the one I have if it isn't a headshot, it takes 2 shots.
Okay, yeah.
And then sometimes for guys that are really far away, you miss, and it's like, God damn it, I just hit the railing. And then it's like,
yeah.
It's like,
that's why you take out the alarms first.
Yeah, I always forget to do that.
Yeah,
that's still a good game. Still a good game. Those are my only complaints.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's a blast as a sandbox. I think it works incredibly well as a sandbox. I don't know how well it works for a lot of other stuff, but man, as a sandbox, it's a blast.
It might be a different story if we ever played it like 3-4 players. Like, primarily we play it
1 or 2 guys, or just people. Like the 2. Yeah.
So when you play co-op, you don't have any AI partners. Whereas when you play by yourself, you still have your 3 AI guys who are doing stuff, right?
It's actually totally true. I tend to because I play predominantly by myself. Right? That's the thing. What I tend to do is I'll fly in with the drone. I'll mark everything up, and then I'll figure out kind of roughly where my route is going to be. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of go through slowly, and I'll tell my guys, okay, you're going to take him out.
The sync shot, right?
Yeah, and I'll sync shot as the 3 that I that they can do, and then I'll take 1 guy out. They'll take 3 guys out, so there's 4 right there, and I'll just kind of systematically go through a base doing that to get to my where I need to go. It works pretty well.
See, I don't think I've ever played the game single player.
Yeah, that's funny. See, I've only played a couple times.
If I played a single player, I'd probably be more strategic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm more like G.I. Joe gung-ho, woohoo, guns blazing, fuckers.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, we beat that.
That's cool, man.
Will I wrap up the 100% completion? Probably not.
I still, every time I play that game, I am blown away by how fucking big it is. It is so big.
It's really big.
Such a ridiculously huge game. It's almost too big. It borders on that, shit, guys. Couldn't we, maybe dropped it down a little bit? I don't know. It is so big, though.
They just had a big patch, too, that came out, yesterday or today or something.
Yeah. Fair enough.
They added a bunch of Ghost Recon some new stuff. I don't even know. Anyway. I also played a game called Mothergunship.
Yes. I've been hearing people talk about this.
It's a roguelike first-person shooter? Bullet hell? Roguelike first-person shooter?
Roguelite?
Nah, in their description on Wikipedia it says roguelike.
Alright, fair enough.
My first mistake I made is that I had a code provided to me.
Okay.
I got the Xbox version.
Oh, yeah.
Which is my first mistake. Probably should have got on PC.
Alright. Because then you could play it with a mouse and keyboard, or what?
Because I kind of missed the part about bullet hell. It's literally the screen littered with bullets.
Wow.
Enemies everywhere. But it's a first-person shooter. You have a right-hand, left-hand weapon. You can double, triple jump. There's all kinds of mods. You can mod your suit.
And you can build guns on top of guns on top of guns.
Well, that's it. The whole premise of this game is you get a currency from fighting enemies.
Right.
I believe the rooms are randomly generated. I think the ending of... you go from ship to ship to ship, and basically you're working your way to the Mothergunship.
Right.
And you go from ship to ship, which are kind of segmented by rooms.
Oh, ship, dude.
Filled with enemies. And you get currency, and there's shops where you buy gun parts.
Ship, yeah.
God. What happens is you get these, there's connectors, barrels, and I believe the third one was mods. I'm pretty sure I'm screwing that up. But basically, you need a connector, and connectors vary in shape and how many sockets they have.
Okay.
So you could put a connector with another connector, and then 2 barrels, 3 barrels, 4, 5, 6, 7. You could put connectors on top of barrels and connectors, and you can have a fully auto
gunship, man.
You can have a fully auto chain gun, rocket launcher, shotgun, rail gun.
Wow.
And of course, the more stuff you have, the more energy it draws, the quicker it depletes your ammo, and the quicker it takes to recharge. from what I understand, I don't think there's any ammo. It's just energy. The weapon drains, and then, it has to recharge, which is like reload, right?
Right.
And then you can equip one in each hand. At first, you don't have any. You just have fists. And you in your robot suit, and you can punch enemies. You usually start off with really dinky enemies that aren't hard. So
okay. I heard you essentially have like a weapon or something in each hand, right? So you can build like a crazy gun in one hand and have like another crazy gun in the other hand, or something else if you want.
You can totally
right?
customize it. Like I had a quad-barreled shotgun railgun in one hand.
Wow.
And then I had like a what is it? It was an energy laser Gatling gun. So there's like 3 different guns: a laser gun, a Gatling gun, and an energy gun all together.
Wow.
In my other hand. And it was just bleh, spaz of like bullets on the screen. Like like it's a bullet hell both directions. Just not only your enemies, but you're spewing out bullet hell as well.
Right.
It's colorful, it's neat, it's solid, it controls well. Obviously I would feel more comfortable playing it on PC with a keyboard and mouse, because it is quite hectic.
Right. I've heard it's really fast. Like, having keyboard and mouse, I feel like would be really good.
I'd compare it to Doom, but change like the hellish demon enemies to like cyborgs and computers and robots and like turrets, and it seems like they're all mechanical enemies. I haven't gotten too far, so I could be wrong. That could change.
Right. Okay.
Enemies drop currency, they drop energy, they drop life, they drop, I don't think there's shields. But
okay.
It's neat. It's obviously each little ship is randomly generated. One ship I just had to get like a data core, because these data cores are like unlocking information. We're trying to figure out how to get on the Mothergunship.
Right.
Another ship ended with a big giant, like, and I'm not kidding, like giant multi-staged boss battle.
Because like, isn't the idea you kill all the other ships to get to the Mothergunship, right?
Yeah, we're working our way to get to the Mothergunship.
Right. Okay.
We need these data cores to, I guess, understand their cloaking technology so that we can board the Mothergunship.
Gotcha.
And so I'd assume the bosses aren't random. So I assume that big giant first tunnel worm boss that I fought, everyone fights that first, and then I assume it, like some other roguelikes, that's usually what it's like. Like even like Dead Cells, like the first boss is the first boss. It's always the same first boss, but the stages and what comes between the start and when you get to him is what is random.
Oh, yep. Okay.
The weapons you see, the orientation of the stages you see is different, but it ends with that same boss, right? And then I assume like boss 2, 3, and 4 are like, they're not random. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the path to get there is different every time, or at least the dungeon that you can compare it to like a dungeon. It's very Doom-esque in terms of the speed and feeling of the combat. So it's solid.
I've heard that there can be some challenges sometimes with the way the levels, because the levels, like you said, the levels are sort of what's the word I'm looking for? It just totally escaped me. They're not designed, right?
I believe they're random.
Yeah, so they're like randomly generated.
Except for like the boss, I think the boss rooms and like some of that stuff is pre-authored.
Yeah, but I've heard that there can be some challenges because of that, where like
I'm sure. Like if you got a bad room design,
you can kind of like get
with a certain enemy type.
Yeah, I've heard of people kind of like almost getting stuck and having to like restart and stuff like that, just because of the way like it kind of generated some stuff.
I've only done 3 ships. Like I've only played like an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Any idea like how many there are?
I have no idea.
No.
You've got a hub ship where you can customize your armor.
Okay.
There's other unlockables and stuff you can customize in your base as well, which I haven't even begun to uncover the depth there, but
right.
It seems fun. There's a co-op mode coming next month for free. So you'll be able to play it co-op. Right now it's single player.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Okay.
It's
I mean, it sounds like it might be pretty fun as a co-op game. with both people.
Co-op
like
would probably make it really fun. For one, I feel like I made a mistake and got it on for a Twitch shooter.
Right.
I should have got it on PC. I should have asked for a PC code.
Oh, yeah.
But it was on my X, and it's solid. It's just I'm not super amazing at fast Twitch-based shooter with a controller.
Right.
But it's fine. It's a good game. It's neat. It's not for, I wouldn't say, I don't know how much more time I'm going to put into it. It's not really my cup of tea.
Right.
I do like roguelikes, but I'm more of a roguelike Metroidvania guy. It is a new kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's where it's like being a shooter, I kind of want more of a scripted, big crazy moments, heavy in story.
I hear you.
More, my Call of Duties and and Dooms and whatnot.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it's a cool game. They're doing something neat. I'm not sure if I'll end up having. Well, man, I have a bunch of trips and stuff coming up, so I don't know how much more time I can afford to give to it. But
right,
I'd say it's like a solid 7. From the little that I've experienced. That could go up if I was to play it some more.
Well, that's fair.
If you aren't into bullet hells,
then it's not for you.
And you're not into first Twitch shooters, it might not be your cup of tea.
Right.
I guess it's more like in the vein of something like if you like the Serious Sam type games. Or I think the Painkiller games, even though I've never really played those, but I think those are along the lines of like tons of enemies on screen.
Oh really man, fast. Painkiller games. That brings back memories.
Is that right? I've never played a Painkiller game. But
yeah, those Painkiller games were like crazy. There was dudes coming at you from all over the place. You were shooting stakes man, so much fun.
So I think it would be a good comparison to like if you're into those types of shooters, then this might be right up your alley. And then the roguelike and the gun customization is what gives this some freshness, and that there is a ton of replayability because of that, right?
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, that sounds pretty rad.
Don't look for your big set piece action and in-depth storytelling.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That game's been, I mean, did it come fully out now or is it in early access?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Now.
Okay.
Yeah, it came out July 17th, so it's been out for a week.
Okay.
About a week now, maybe almost 2.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remembered it was coming out. I know, like I said, a bunch of people were playing it and talking about it. I think I saw... Man, it's funny. I might even have an email with a code sitting there. I can't remember, but I definitely saw it show up in my inbox as like, hey, this is a thing. It's coming out. And I just remember kind of like reading through it and going like, I don't know if this is for me or not. But
yeah, I felt that when I saw it, but I had heard some positive stuff and I'm like, maybe it might, like, I felt like obviously I saw it and I'm like, I don't think this is for me, but I've never played a game like this, so I don't know. It might be, right? So
right.
That was the biggest question, is I wanted to see if it maybe had some hooks and be like, oh yeah, this is freaking awesome.
No, that's fair.
It's a totally solid game, but I just don't think the first person Twitch bullet hell is quite my genre.
Yeah.
I'm an old man.
Things are so fast in the bullet hell.
These are for the Twitches and the YouTube kids, and the esports and stuff.
Yeah, I hear you.
Too old. My reaction time ain't what it used to be.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Except for in a bed, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You've been playing a fun game.
Oh, am I ever? I'm playing the best game. I played the new computer game.
Yeah.
Yep. Anybody that's listening to the podcast, it finally happened. So I'd started the build, actually, like 2 months ago?
You've been piecing it together for a little bit.
It's been a couple months now. It's been at least probably 2 or 3 months. I've slowly been like, I picked up a new case and a new CPU cooler, and I picked up a power supply, and I bought essentially all of the parts. And I was down to my last 3 pieces. So I needed a motherboard, a processor, and RAM. Those were the last 3 things that I needed. Well, last week, Amazon had their crazy, I don't even remember if it was part of the actual Amazon like day or whatever, but either way, whenever they had their big Prime Day thing, they had some pretty dope deals. And one of those deals was for a AMD Threadripper, and it was like 60% off. And I was like not planning on going that way because if I knew that if I went Threadripper, then it increased the cost of the motherboard quite a bit. But after kind of running the numbers and talking to my wife and things, I was like, it was such a good deal. I kind of couldn't say no to the processor. So I ordered the processor and it showed up for Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. And then on Friday, I was like sitting there and I was like, I just need a motherboard and RAM now. This is pretty much the worst. So after doing some like sleuthing online and some price matching and whatnot, I ended up coming home on Friday with a motherboard and processor. So I finally had everything I needed. And it kind of worked out because I ended up being able to sell some things and kind of get a bunch of or not get a bunch right now, but I will have essentially paid for the motherboard and RAM prices of stuff that I picked up there. Those will kind of be paid for just due to sort of a couple of deals that I made with just for a couple items that I had that other people wanted that I wasn't really using anymore. So that's cool. So yeah, so then like Saturday morning, I was like, all right, it's time to build a PC. Yeah, that was kind of an all day affair. It looks real nice.
Was it a whole day affair?
Yeah, it kind of was actually. Yeah.
Okay, I do like your case.
Yeah,
a lot. I like the color scheme,
black and red.
This is the question.
Okay.
After you put everything together,
yep.
Did you get it running in one boot?
Yep.
Nice.
No, to be fair, like I built so many computers at this point that it's been quite a while since I've pressed that power button and had nothing happen.
To be honest, it has been a while. They have gotten quite well at actually working nowadays, as opposed to back in the day. It used to be a fingers crossed. Now it's more like I plugged everything in right, it'll work.
Yeah. The one thing that I had a little bit of a challenge with, and this is, I mean, I work in IT, so I mean, I deal with most of the issues that I would have come across on a fairly daily basis. So it's that part of it's kind of cool that to have that kind of knowledge and stuff under your cap, if you will. What was a little bit challenging though was this was the first time had been dealing with a PC with a NVMe M.2 drive, which is like an SSD drive that kind of looks like a big stick of RAM. And most of the computer, like we get computers at work that run those, but generally speaking, those already come with Windows pre-installed. So I don't really ever have to load from scratch onto those. It's happened once or twice, but because they're OEM computers, you generally just download like an OEM version of the like operating system and reflash it, and it generally just works. So that was actually the only thing that kind of held me up for a bit. I didn't realize, just a FYI for anybody out there, if you are building a machine with an NVMe drive that you want to use as a boot drive, you have to install Windows on that drive before you plug anything else in. Otherwise, you're going to have nothing but problems. And by problems, I mean it won't work. So once I realized I needed to essentially unplug all my other SSDs and hard drives.
So you don't want any other drives in the system when you're installing. You're installing from USB to that, right?
Yep. So I had like, I've got my work, like I said, like I work in IT, so I've got USB sticks with Windows 7, 8, 10, et cetera, all on them. So I just grabbed my one from work, had Windows 10 Pro preloaded on it already, so I slapped that in there. And then I was having challenges trying to get it to load and run and install. And then I realized I needed to unplug So I literally just reached into my motherboard, unplugged all my other hard drives that I had connected. And as soon as I did that, I had to make one change in the BIOS as well. And then it just booted right in, loaded up, told it where to install. It preloaded the drivers and everything because I was using the most recent version of Windows. And that was the fastest install of Windows I've ever seen in my life. I clicked install to this drive and I swear it was 5 minutes and it was installed. It was crazy. That drive is so fast.
Now I gotta freaking buy one for my computer, you douchebag.
I did some testing afterwards and I'm seeing over a gigabyte read and write speeds on that drive.
Jesus.
And that's
where did
per
you
second.
get your parts from primarily?
To be totally fair, they were all over the place. I bought some of my parts off of Amazon, some of my parts from Memory Express, some of my parts from Newegg. It was honestly
your M2 drive, you got the Samsung, right?
I picked up this Samsung. It's at the time
I'm looking at one on sale right now, the 970 Evo.
Yeah, I've got the one just before that, the 960 Evo. So I would buy, if it was me and I was buying a new one now, I would either go with the 970 Evo or the 970 Pro if I wanted to spend the money.
Yeah, the Pros jump quite a bit in price.
They do. They also jump quite a bit in speed as well. But
they do, eh?
They do, but they're so fast already. I can't believe how fast they are.
Do you really... This is comparing a supercar to a supercar, right?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The one thing I will say is with the Pros, one of the things that's really good with the Pros is their sustained read and write speed is quite a bit higher.
Sorry, I just found the 970 Pro, but
what size?
It's a 512
Yeah,
gig.
and so it's what, $350?
329.
Okay, yeah, so that's not terrible.
The Pro doesn't even come in a
I don't think they come smaller than a 512. So
they're go big or go home.
Yeah, man. So because I went with the Threadripper, that also means that I had to go with the X399 chipset and motherboard, which increased my motherboard cost by almost double. Which was a little bit depressing. That being said, though, there are some benefits, such as, for example, without getting super, super nerdy for anybody out there, and getting into how it all works and whatever, there's essentially when you jump from what I was looking at doing before would have been the AMD 270 platform, the 2700X, which is the X470 chipset. Those come with 20 PCI Express lanes directly off the motherboard. Now, those are super fast lanes. So you automatically are going to use 16 of those lanes when you plug a video card in. So that leaves you with 4 that are left over. So if you plug in one NVMe M.2 drive as a hard drive, that runs on 4 times PCI Express socket. So that essentially means that now your PCI Express lanes are taken up. So that's all you get. But because I went to the X399 platform, I get 60 PCI Express lanes directly to the processor, which means that I actually have on the motherboard, I've actually got 3 spots for M.2 NVMe drives at full times 4 PCI Express lanes.
I think my motherboard has 2.
Yeah.
But I think if I used the second one, it wouldn't get full.
So
it would be a waste to put a second one in, basically.
It's still not a waste, because it's still going to be faster than a regular SATA drive.
I guess, but it wouldn't be as fast as the first.
No, it will not.
M2 drive.
Because the thing is that your second, in your case, that second M.2 slot, it's going to be using the Gen 2 PCI Express lanes, which are slower. Yeah. And that's how it's still going to be faster than SATA, but it's not going to be as fast as 4 Gen 3 lanes. And that's kind of how they get away with that. Whereas on mine, all 3 of those are full speed lanes because I've got 60 of them.
That makes sense.
So it also means that if I was a real masochist, I could also slot in 3 full video cards into my motherboard, and all 3 of those video cards could run full 16 times PCI Express lanes.
I think you gotta go. They don't have triple and quad SLI anymore, do they?
Not. I mean, yes and no. Not really. It's not as
they only support SLI, right?
The board that I've got supports Crossfire and SLI.
Yeah,
but
yeah, most of them do. Yeah,
but
that was the big thing. If you're a total douchebag, you had like 3 or 4 video cards.
Yeah, in this particular case, you could put 4 video cards, or you could actually put 1, 2, 3, 4. You could put 5, 6 video cards in it, but they're not all.
You don't have that many slots on your motherboard, though.
I do.
What?
No, sorry. I've got 4 full size. No, I think I have 6. Now I've like.
I feel like you have 4. 6 seems ridiculous.
I literally have the motherboard box right here.
I think on mine I only have 3. No, 4.
4. Sorry, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I lied. 5. There's 5 PCI Express, full PCI Express. But the thing is like obviously due to the way that the PCI Express lanes work, you can do 4, like you can do 2.
So
you can do 2 16, 2 8s, and then 1 would have to be 4.
Bottom line is Dayne's motherboard computer is pretty kick-ass.
It's pretty sweet. It's stupid
awesome.
Fast. I'm pretty happy with it. 8 core, 16 threads. It's very nice to be up to date. New case. It's smaller than the old one. It's incredibly quiet compared to my old one. It doesn't sound like a jet engine that's going to take off beside me. Also, because I went with like a great big water cooler, it's incredibly quiet. So, but it also keeps everything really cool. I think my average temps at idle when I like sit down in front of right now as I speak, I'm running like 38 degrees on my processor as we record this, and it is bloody hot in my room right now. So that's pretty amazing. Seeing as it's the size of that processor is huge. That is one thing I will say. The Threadripper was a monster processor. It's like 2 sizes, like it looks like 2 regular processors put together. Like it's a massive piece of hardware. So, but it's up, it's running. Now I'm just waiting. And now I'm on the fence between whether or not I should just suck it up and buy a new video card now or hold off and wait. I'm trying to wait, but it's hard because now that everything else is new, it's like now my old video card is like, hey, this is actually, you know what?
You should buy a video card so that they announce the new video cards. Because as soon as you buy one, that's when they'll finally freaking announce the new ones that we've been waiting for forever.
I know. I'm hearing August 1st, possibly. I don't know how much truth is in that, though.
This has been a ridiculous... Well, it's because of stupid Bitcoin and crypto mining. But in terms of like video card generations, this has been like one of the longest ones in like ever.
Well, and it didn't help that because there was such a huge Bitcoin mining and such huge demand that nobody could get them for so long. Then everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody because AMD doesn't seem to, but like Nvidia seemed to ramp up production like crazy. And now they don't want to release new video cards because they have so many of the old ones left.
They're selling so many of the old ones. So they've like artificially delayed a generation because of demand.
Oh, easily. They're almost 2 generations at this point.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of brutal.
Crypto Bitcoin mining is destroying the planet and delaying our video game progress.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, I also wonder too, though, if part of it has to do with they're trying to figure out, because obviously NVIDIA and AMD are, I shouldn't say obviously, but I would think that they would probably be in talks with like Sony and Microsoft to figure out like where their new consoles are going to be going and all that kind of stuff. So it makes me wonder if they're partly wondering like what's going to happen with that. And then they can sort of build video cards that are going to work with upcoming games, et cetera, et cetera. But needless to say, it's been a brutal, very long. I don't know if I've ever remember there being this length of time between people really like NVIDIA released the 10 series almost 2 years ago, I think this fall. So that's crazy.
Yeah, I've had my 1080 for a while.
And I mean, like, technically, yes, they did release the 1070 Ti and the 1080 Ti, I think a year later or 6 months later, which is normally what we see. But then they just didn't release anything for another year plus, which is crazy. So, and I mean, AMD released the Vega 56 and the Vega 64, but because they're so good at crypto mining, those are for all intents and purposes not even been on the shelves. Like, they're so hard to come by, and their prices are still so brutally inflated that it just doesn't make sense unless you're actually mining with them. It just doesn't make sense to buy, which actually really sucks. But yeah, it's definitely putting a big bummer in that part of it. So we'll see how it all goes. I don't know how long I'll be able to hold off, but I'm hoping that, August, September, like, and then what happens if they announce them and then there's going to be huge demand from everybody for the new cards because it's been so long. Who knows if you'll even be able to get a hold of them? Does that mean that like they're going to be amazing at crypto mining and then all the miners are going to buy up all the new cards again? Like, I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like,
I hope not.
I mean, with cryptocurrency taking a dive in prices and things, I think that has definitely helped demand for that stuff. It would just
disappear and go away forever. And take social media with it. Then the world would be a better place.
I can't really argue that. So, anyways, so yeah, that was my game. I
don't need a new PC, but I just like shiny things.
I know.
Building PCs is fun.
It was a lot of fun. It had been too long, and I realized, I was like, man, it's been too long since I built one of these for myself. Like, this feels good.
Mine's literally 2 years now.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because I built it 2 years ago after we got to it. I think it'll be 2 years this September. Because I remember ordering the parts like before we went to a PAX.
Right. Yes.
And like built it when I came back.
Right. Yeah, I do remember that now.
I'd have no need for a new PC.
No, not really.
My PC is pretty kick-ass. I might have to get one of those M2 drives, though. I should have got one from the get-go, but they were so expensive when they first launched.
They were also tiny when they first launched.
Yeah, they were tiny. They were like 60 gig or like some ridiculous small stuff. It's like, this is just a boot drive.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I bought a 250 gig or 240 gig or whatever it is.
That's a good...
And like, it's still just going to be a boot drive, but at this point, the thing is that I'm tempted to, down the road, wait for prices to come down and speeds to continue to go up, and then I'll drop like a 512 gig in or a terabyte in as
it's like your
put my games on
drive.
It. Exactly.
Like the ones you're currently playing.
Yep, exactly. So that's what's cool, because then those will just be flying fast.
Well, what do I have in my machine? I think I have like 3 or 4 SSDs in my machine now.
Yeah, it's
like a couple 240, whatever, 200 and something, and a 500.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
And I've just been buying them here and there on sale, and they're essentially all my game drives.
Yeah, and they're so like they're at a point now where they're affordable, from a point where you can buy a 512 for, like a normal SSD 512, like $150. You know what I mean? Like they're getting to that point where it just makes sense. So. And they're still incredibly fast compared to, obviously, the traditional drive. So yeah, I haven't had a chance, to be totally honest, to play a ton on it yet. But so far, what I have done on it, and besides record this podcast, yay, everything else so far has been incredible. I did manage to play some Wildlands a little bit. I played some Destiny. I'm noticing I'm definitely seeing some higher frames and more stable frames, which is super sweet.
Your video card is basically holding your machine back.
Oh, big time. Now. I'm maxing out my video card. Like when I play Destiny, 100%. I am watching my video card load 100%, pretty much pinned the entire time now.
That's funny.
So, which is shitty and great all at the same time. So,
yeah.
But, yeah. So there we go. I finally did it. You can't hear me complain about needing a new PC on the show.
Nope, not for another 5 or 6 years.
There you go. So,
all right. Yeah. Let's get into some news. News. Fortnite celebrating its first birthday this week.
Already?
Limited time birthday. I know. Doesn't it feel like Fortnite just came out yesterday?
Is this for Fortnite, the Save the World edition, or is this for Fortnite?
I think it's Fortnite, just Fortnite, period.
Okay.
Because Battle Royale, but Battle Royale came out very quickly after it came out.
I feel like it was a few months, though, I wanted to say.
Well, to remember, Fortnite Save the World was like...
Well, I mean, yeah, that came out
early access for like a good 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, that came out.
And then Battle Royale came out, so I don't know what their characteristic for this first birthday is. Maybe it's when it came out of early access.
Right.
Because Battle Royale, I don't feel like we were playing Battle Royale in August last year, but it could be wrong.
Maybe not. Well, maybe not Fortnite. Well, I mean, I think Fortnite was out, but it wasn't the behemoth that it is because everybody was playing PUBG.
Oh, no, it absolutely wasn't. It was the Save the World mode, and then Battle Royale came out. But this time last year, we were talking about PUBG.
Yeah, absolutely.
PUBG has cracked 3 million concurrents. Oh my god, PUBG is the most amazing game in the world.
And I mean, it was. And I mean, it's still got 20, 30 million people playing it every single day. I mean, as much as everybody's like, oh, well, Fortnite's eating its lunch and it's so big, like, PUBG is still a huge game.
I would still love to be Brandon and have created PUBG.
Yeah.
I'd be very happy wearing those shoes. But, man, I'd be even happier being in Epic's shoes with Fortnite.
Yeah.
So, first birthday celebration, if you're into Fortnite, there's a couple in-game challenges. If you complete them all, you get experience, a spray, and then some other... What is it? A spray, a birthday cake, emoticon, a backpack, birthday cake backpack.
Okay.
And yeah, anyway. If you want some free stuff on Fortnite, if you're still playing it, I'm sure it doesn't seem like that stuff's too difficult to get.
Fair enough.
Speaking of Fortnite, apparently Epic's valuation has gone up to I want to say, I think I read 8 billion somewhere.
What? Say that again?
$8 billion.
Wow. That seems like a lot, but at the same time, I'm hearing that they're making hundreds of millions a month on 1 or 2 platforms. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Apparently the mobile game makes 2 million a day.
Wow.
So that's not even the consoles and stuff. I'm pretty sure the consoles make even more.
That's crazy.
I know. It is crazy. Ugh.
That's
Jesus Christ.
Crazy. Well, congratulations. You've made the biggest world in the game.
Happy birthday. How about you guys buy everybody birthday presents for your birthday? You could afford it.
No kidding. Jeez.
Stardew Valley. Remember this goodie?
Yeah.
This gem, they announced their multiplayer update is going to be coming out in August.
Wow, okay.
I believe on PC, we talked about it a while ago, you could get into it and check it out. Or that it maybe...
Yeah, it was in beta, they were testing it and stuff. I remember that, yeah. I still kind of wondering,
It's going to go live first for Linux, Mac, and PC players first. No word on when it'll be released for Switch.
Interesting.
But multiplayer will arrive for Switch before PS4 and Xbox One.
So as part of the multiplayer, you're going to be able to marry other players.
Sweet. That's what we always wanted. Work together, 4-player farming.
Yeah.
August 1st.
Interesting.
We will see that.
I still wonder how that game's going to work as a multiplayer game, but sweet.
I'm sure it would be fun. Destiny 2 players uncover a secret mission that leads to a new exotic weapon. What?
Wow, the Whisper of the Worm. Interesting.
This is kind of a throwback to the old Black Spindle from Destiny 1, which was a ridiculously hard timed mission.
Huh.
I don't think I ever.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was Destiny 1. I don't think I ever completed that. It was really tough.
It's a 380 power activity that can only be triggered through the Taken Blight public event in Lost Oasis on Io. During the event, a Taken Knight will spawn in before retreating to a cave. If you manage to kill the champion before he flees, a portal will appear. Going through the portal is what triggers the Whisper, which has a 20-minute timer. What follows is a long and arduous series of jumping puzzles that lead to a tough fight with more Taken scattered around several rooms. Following a big fight with 3 bosses, you'll be awarded the exotic sniper rifle Whisper of the Worm, assuming you do all that before the time runs out. Like you said, it's almost identical to the first game's Black Spindle, which was a reward for finding and completing a hidden mission. Yeah, interesting.
It is. Looks cool. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm geared high enough.
I definitely am not. I'm at like 343 or something like that.
The gun looks pretty awesome.
I'm actually having a really hard time leveling past that. Like, I'm finding I'm hitting a bit of a wall now.
The grind is, once you hit 340...
Oh, the grind is real now.
I think it's 340. The grind is like totally back. It's Destiny 1 style grind. They really slowed it down.
It's not just that. It's like now you have to be doing either like Nightfall missions and other stuff in order to get anything past 340. Like, everything else is just 340. There you go. Nothing else higher than that is dropping for me pretty much. So, which is kind of annoying.
It kind of screws you if you're not super active with the clan or multiplayer group. Just like Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Gun's cool. I wish I could get it, but it ain't going to happen. This is a fun one. Reaper's Hellfire shotgun is now an official Overwatch Nerf gun.
Interesting.
So, yeah, next year. They don't have price or date, just says 2019. Apparently there's a series of Overwatch themed Nerf guns are coming out. The first one they've revealed is the Reaper's hand shotguns, which was kind of cool, minus the ugly orange barrels, which those will get painted in a heartbeat. Hold up to 8 rounds.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Word.
And yeah, it looks like it's a pretty authentic representation of his gun ripped out of Overwatch. So they don't look like a Nerf gun, minus the orange barrels.
Yeah.
But like I said, we'll paint those.
Of course.
And they're not too expensive. That'd be kind of cool to have just to mount on the wall. And maybe shoot people.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was waiting for.
Fallout 76. Beta program was, that was already announced. It was announced at E3. Details on when it starts have just been released, and that is coming in October. So if you pre-ordered Fallout 76, you got a code that you could register on Bethesda's site.
And you may or may not get into the beta. That's the part of this that I find so funny. So you're pre-ordering the game, and then you're trying to enter your code in hopes to get into the beta, but you might not. Which is really kind of...
Everyone with a qualifying pre-order will eventually be included in the beta.
I just mean like there's those...
It'll be in waves, and I believe... I want to say Xbox is going to be the first that it comes out on. Wasn't that like a Microsoft announcement at E3?
Sure.
I feel like that's
plays first on Xbox. I don't know.
Yeah, just for the beta. So that's, what is it, the break everything test application or something? I don't know. Stands for something. Yeah. Something smart. So yeah, I'm registered in that. because I pre-ordered the game.
Fair enough.
We'll see if I get to check it out in October.
I'll probably skip it. I will probably play Monster Hunter before I play that one.
You know those classic mini consoles that are all the rage right now?
Everybody seems to be coming out with a new one every week.
Yeah, well, this week's new retro console is the Commodore 64, the C64 Mini.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, October 9th. It launches in the US and Canada.
Is this really what anybody was asking for?
Man, Commodore fans, it has 64 games. California Games, I remember that game. Speedball 2 Street, Sports Baseball, Temple of
Ashby Trilogy and Iridium.
Iridium. And then, 64 games. I don't even know what else there is. They don't have the full list here, but hey, I don't know. Someone's got a soft spot for C64. My cousin had one. I don't think I ever played any games on it.
I was going to say, I know I had a friend that had one. I played California Games, but then that came to like the NES, and then I played a whole bunch of it more there. I don't know. Currently, reviews are coming out of this already in Europe, and so far,
that's where Commodore had a
they were a much bigger.
It was definitely Europe. So some of our European fans, if we have any, or listeners, best friends, whatever you want to be called, probably have more an affinity for C64 than we do.
You mean our Geekoholics?
Yes, our Geekoholics. That's it. Definitely. In Europe.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it didn't really take off here, so it was they were far and few between. But whatever. That's cool.
Apparently you can add more games to it.
Some people are probably stoked.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently the joystick is not great, which is too bad.
Moving along. Nintendo news. Oh no, I skipped story. Never mind.
Come on, man.
Steam has rolled out a new update that has updated their chat client.
Yes, it did.
Instead of idly sitting by and watching Discord eat their lunch.
I was just going to say, it feels an awful lot like Discord now.
They've gone and borrowed a bunch of stuff from, obviously, their competitor here with room. It looks like channels and rooms.
Yeah,
and
it's very Discordy now. It's interesting. Like you said, channels now. You can jump in voice channels, and you can be part of. I mean, it's.
I almost kind of feel like it's a little too late because we've all installed Discord and fallen in love with Discord chats.
Yeah, I think that there's still a whole bunch of people that are like hardcore Steam users. I mean, it's weird. I personally know a few people, and I mean, I don't. To be honest, I don't know.
Steam is like the only program that boots up on my machine.
That's funny.
Besides Windows.
I have a few, but I know some people that they refuse to install anything else but Steam.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because they're lazy.
They're just like, no, I already have Steam. I don't want another installer thing. I'm like, so you're just never gonna play a Blizzard game? You're never gonna play like a Battlefield game? Or nope, I don't care. Those aren't. I'm just like, okay, wow, well. So, I mean, for those people, I bet this is perfect. They're like, this is great. I don't need to install that Discord crap. I can just play my Steam games or my Steam stuff right here. Not to say that I think this is a bad idea, because I think it is. But I think that it's smart. I think that...
Yeah, you can't not update and just let Discord run away with it, obviously.
Exactly. You
hit the nail on the head. This is great news for people who are stubborn and ignorant about trying and using new stuff.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for them. And it's good to have competition because
it makes Discord better. It's clearly making Steam better. So this way it keeps everybody on their toes, like you said, right?
Speaking of that, don't forget to join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes. If you haven't already, just jump in, say hi.
Like,
insult Dayne.
Obviously.
Compliment me. I mean...
Other way around.
What?
Yeah.
Or just chat and be nice.
Or that. That's what we prefer.
Or play games. Or jump into me and Teacups weekly chats and go like, what's going on, guys?
I'll show you some cool photos on my new computer.
Yeah, seriously, you can find... I'm in there every Monday night. Usually every Monday night when we're playing games. So
right.
I don't have that shit on lockdown, so if you're on your PC and just want to say hi, just drop by. Hey, baby, you can even jump in our game with us and carry us, because, we suck.
That's what I hear.
We're dads with kids.
Yeah, you both are now, eh?
That poorly play games. That's going to be the new sitcom.
I'd probably watch that.
Dads with kids that suck at games.
Done. Sold.
Coming to ABC.
I feel like it's more of a CW show, but all right.
Okay, CW. With vampires.
Oh, done. Sold.
And teen romance.
So what you're saying is 100 vampire dads drop onto an island.
Oh, God.
Done.
My God.
$1 billion idea right there.
Along.
$1 billion.
In Nintendo news.
We can cut that out, right? I don't want anybody taking our idea.
I'll do it in post. Good. Don't worry. It's safe. Nintendo sues to shut down 2 big ROM sites. One's already been shut down. The others pulled their ROMs. Actually, I think they're both shut down now. Nintendo filed a lawsuit against 2 websites serving ROMs, calling them a brazen and masculine infringement of Nintendo intellectual property rights. One site, loveretro.co, and the other, Love ROMs.
Both owned by the same person.
They're owned by the same person. They're both down now by the time we've read this. But basically, they're suing the pants off of this dude. Where does it have his name here?
I believe it does, actually. I don't know about this one, but I know they definitely did say who it was against. But I don't know if the Polygon articles got it. I know I read another article that did actually specify. Yeah,
basically, but the lawsuit requests damages that could reach into $100 million range.
This dude's in deep caca.
Crazy. There was a better story out there than this one. This is actually a pretty bad story.
This is interesting because I think that Nintendo, by all means, has every right to go after this particular thing, and protect their intellectual property. I also find it amusing that, because as I understand, part of what was the big problem here was that you were able to download. You were able to play a lot of the games in the browser, right from the website.
Yeah, and they're using BIOS code.
Yeah,
basically ripped from consoles
for the emulators and stuff.
And then obviously the ROMs of Nintendo games, that's their property.
Yeah,
they don't give you the permission. See, why I was calling this a bad story, the other story, which I couldn't find for some reason, had the guy's name. Not that we really care about his name, but the big thing here is these sites were getting 17 million uniques a month.
Oh, huge.
So that's to give you a scale of how bad it was, and also that this guy took donations and money, so he was making money off of this.
Big time. I'm sure he was doing
I don't know how much money he was making, because tons of sites, millions and millions of people go to have donate buttons, and I'm sure a very small percentage
I guarantee you that site with 17 million people hitting it every month was monetizing the fuck out of 1,000,001 ads on that page.
Oh yeah.
So I guarantee he was doing okay.
I'm sure he was doing all right. I know some people are like, yeah, but you can't buy these games. And it's like, well, you couldn't, but now you can. With NES Classic, the Super Nintendo Classic, and soon to be whatever they end up doing on Switch. I know Virtual Console over the years is leaving a lot to be desired because you can't get anything and everything. But, it's just because it's been ignored for so many years, it doesn't mean it's cool to do.
My big issue here is that I get frustrated because this is classic Nintendo. Try and shut all these people down. which is fair. They have every right to do so. But
absolutely.
But instead of giving an option to people that's like, hey, fuckers, we've got this store over here that you can go buy them all.
Just come over here. We got all the stuff here. And we make it
super easy. No, they don't, because they haven't.
No, they don't.
Like they did away with all of that store. That's gone now. They're saying flat out that like, well, we're probably not going to be doing the Virtual Console on the Switch, and probably
it's
not.
on the 3DS still, but yeah, they're like,
yeah, but like straight up,
nothing new coming to it.
If Nintendo made this easy for people to do, I guarantee you that this would be a much smaller issue.
Oh yeah,
for them.
These sites wouldn't exist.
Exactly, because they would be. It's the iTunes thing. Like music. Don't get me wrong, music pirating is still very much a thing for some people, and it's always going to be a thing for some people because that's the way they're going to always do it. But the thing is that when Apple released iTunes back in the day, they made it so easy and so affordable to buy music that you wanted, and it was just at the click of a button. That
it's more work to
exactly.
pirate.
And
whereas in this case, it's more work to be legit.
Totally, they do not make it easy to play their games. How hard is it? Especially like up until recently, it's a lot easier to get a hold of a NES Classic or a Super NES Classic or whatever. But up until recently, like how hard was it to get a hold of one of those things? Like it was the hottest item at Christmas time. Nobody could get a hold of it. Like all that stuff, right? So, and they're not doing anything, like they're not doing a Virtual Console. There's talk that obviously they're going to be releasing some stuff when they finally release the Nintendo service coming later this year. But what's that going to be? 5, 6 games, 10 games, 20 games? Like who knows what those games are going to look like? One could argue that the Super NES and the NES Classic are both only offering a small, very small catalog of games. So, if I think that, like I said, Nintendo is well within their rights and this is absolutely something they needed to do, but they also need to figure out a solution for a legit way for people to be able to get a hold of and play their games easily and on the devices that they currently utilize. And this will be a much smaller problem for them.
Yeah, they like maybe they've got a solution down the pipeline, and this is the first step in them protecting and setting up for that. These aren't the only two sites. No. There's tons of them.
It just so happened.
I know a guy. There's this guy I know where he gets all his ROMs, and that site's still running just fine.
Can you play those ROMs in the browser though?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's a large part of what that's partly I think why these guys got pinpointed specifically is because it was such an easy thing to go to that site, put in the game, and then just play it right there. Right now, I don't have to download any. Like it could not have been easier to play those games. So I think when you make it that easy, and you're clearly hosting and essentially doing illegal shit, it also makes it easy for you to get into trouble.
Yeah, apparently this other website that my buddy knows about, you can play in the browser.
Well, there you go. We'll see how long it lasts.
He said he didn't want to try it because he doesn't want to crash his computer because he's doing something really important right now. Anyway.
Interesting.
Fresh off the street.
Yeah.
So, that's not clearly not the only place that in existence.
Oh, yeah, no, it's the internet. There's tons of sites like that.
So, yeah, if I was a emulator / ROM distributor, I might be making efforts to encrypt and destroy my web servers so that I don't get dragged into court and sued for $100 million.
Yep.
I would appreciate and love to see if frickin' Nintendo did do something better. Like, obviously the NES and the SNES Classic are a start, but they aren't, you don't have every game. No. They don't have store. Like, I don't understand how those systems didn't ship with Wi-Fi and some kind of store that you could buy every other game. It would have just been a license to print money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it comes with the 30 games. Here's an SD card slot so you can download more. Here's a store. $5-10 each game. Here's the whole library.
Right.
Done. moneymaker. Ching, 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 ching.
Yeah.
And those systems are awesome, but in the same regard, people are hacking them and loading whatever games they want onto them. Because again, Nintendo didn't come up with a perfect solution.
No.
It was almost there. It was like 99% of the way there.
Mm-hmm.
But could you imagine that? Like that would be the perfect implementation of those systems.
Yep.
So what are people doing? They're loading up their Retro Pi on their Raspberry Pis, and they're just doing it for less.
Yeah.
With wireless controllers and Bluetooth, and here I'll just have every game and every console.
Well, and like let's
Not
be honest,
everyone.
you could put every at least regular Nintendo game on a very small memory stick. That is
like so. Like it's not. Obviously, it's a few hoops to jump through. Still, it's not easy. It's not something that everyone is going to do, but I would like to see a better solution.
Yep.
Nintendo deserves to make it's their property, it's their games, and every other dev that still exists. It's their hard work. Like
like I said,
last thing I want is people making money off of my work.
They're absolutely within their right, and I'm happy to see them going after what's theirs. I just wish that they would also recognize that it's 2018 and they need to, if they want to cut back on a lot of this.
Yeah, they should be doing.
They need to do
it's
their
kind of
part.
ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Like that's all.
It's ridiculous that this store doesn't already exist on PC, their own consoles and handhelds, and or even mobile. Like it just seems mind blowing. This doesn't exist already.
Exactly.
Because we know a cell phone can emulate every classic system.
Pretty much.
So it could exist already on cell phones. We know PCs can do it. We know the Switch can freaking do it. Every console they've ever made can do it. So why doesn't it exist? Like, what?
Because Nintendo.
I know. It is because of Nintendo. That's why friend codes exist.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
of Nintendo.
Because Nintendo.
That's why voice chat is like a nightmare on Switch. Because of Nintendo.
Yeah.
I was getting a t-shirt that just says, "Cause Nintendo."
Yeah, I'd wear that. I'd buy
and on
one.
The back it'll say, "That's why."
Because Nintendo.
And that's just cause Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's why. Moving along.
Yeah.
Sony news. During Comic-Con, Sony announced a limited edition Spider-Man PS4 Pro bundle.
Fuck, I do not want a PS4 Pro. I don't need a PS4 Pro.
Very pretty.
That makes me want one so bad.
Well, you're going to see it at PAX, so they'll probably have it on display in a case there, looking all pretty. It looks slick.
So good. Red.
I got one. I have one pre-ordered. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not.
Looks so good.
It really depends what I could unload my existing Pro for. If it's a nominal upgrade fee, I might do it.
Yeah.
Because it does come with the game, so, it's like the game's free, essentially. So if I could sell my Pro for $400 and just buy it get the new system for $100, it's really only paying like $20 plus tax difference more and getting a whole new fancy system.
Right.
We'll see. I don't know what Pros are going for used, but...
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's pretty cool. It's a nice system. Glossy with the awesome Spider-Man logo.
I mean, I don't need a Pro because I have nothing. I don't have a 4K TV or anything, so...
It still makes everything at 1080p run smoother and look better.
I know. It's just... I don't. I need a video card. I need...
No, you're a PC guy. You
don't.
Only idiots like me need that shit.
It doesn't mean I don't want one still.
No, yeah. I absolutely want one. But you got to be a responsible adult.
Sometimes.
I am not a responsible adult.
I come and go.
Yeah, you're better than I am, though.
Sometimes.
Yeah, most of the time. Me, restraint. I don't. It has shares the same first letter as my name, but man, that's about me and restraint are the only things we have in common.
Yeah.
Guacamelee 2 has been announced, releasing. Well, it's already been announced. The release date has been announced for August 21st, coming to PS4 and PC.
Very nice.
So that was a fun take on the Metroidvania.
It was. Wait, so
a couple of years ago now. Canadian guys, Drinkbox.
Heck yeah.
I believe they're in Toronto. Hell yeah.
So you're on this whole Metroidvania, or you were. You have Shanti, don't you?
I do. I started playing it, but then something pulled me away from it. And Owlboy.
You gotta at least go back and finish that, man.
Yeah, I think when I was looking at it on my dashboard on the Xbox, because that's where I was playing it. Is the Half Genie Curse, or is that the newest one?
Oh, sure. Ask me that, right?
I have two of the Shanti games. I have one on PC.
The Half Genie Hero is, I think, the newest one.
There's one on Xbox, and I think that's the one that's on Game Pass.
Okay. Yeah, Half Genie. Yeah, Half Genie Hero is the new one.
Yeah, that's the one you got on Switch, right? Yeah, I do have to get to that. I did start them, and then something dragged me away.
I'm just saying, you're in this, those games are friggin' so good.
Right now, I'm on the Mega Man 2D platforming shooter kick. I OD'd on Metroidvania, so I gotta take a break.
Fair enough.
In Xbox news, Microsoft's next-gen Xbox, Scarlett, devices, some information is leaked out or sneaked out, or I don't even know what you want to say.
I'm wondering if this is one of those things where they're looking at ideas, talking about ideas, and those ideas have leaked out, and I wonder if we're actually going to see any of these or not. You know what I mean?
It kind of makes sense. So Microsoft announced at E3, they tipped their hat, yes, we're working on the next hardware.
Right. Yeah,
then I think that same day or the next day, the Scarlett name was
leaked. Showed up
and confirmed. Okay. But I guess this newest round of rumors, apparently they have two pieces of kit. One is the Scarlett Cloud, and then the other one is just your regular, successor to the Xbox One X.
Right.
Traditional console, it's $500-$600, whatever the heck it's going to be, $400.
Right.
Super powerful next gen. And then a smaller, less expensive streaming box, which will play the same games as the big bad brother, except for that they will be streamed on that system at 1080, I assume 1080p.
So, I wish I could claim this thought process as my own, but I cannot. I did see somebody bring up on Twitter a really good point about this particular rumor, and that's what it is right now. We don't know whether or not it's real or not. It is just a rumor at this point. This is an interesting thing because, okay, you've got your expensive box. Like you said, it's going to be $500-$600. We'll just say it's
no lag, 4K. Yeah,
it's going to be. It is your
HDR.
Let's call it your premium experience, right? This is going to be. We'll say it'll replace the Xbox One X. It'll do. It's going to be your premium experience. So it's going to be $500. We'll say Canadian, just to be safe, because who knows what it'll cost. But anyways, so that's $500. So now you're going to release a streaming console. Say it's $150 or $200. Now, the key here is that in order to get the best experience on that streaming console, you're going to need to have fast as shit internet. Because as I've learned, when you're streaming content at 1080p 60, you're going upwards of 50 megs a second down. So that internet's not cheap. So you end up in this situation that if people are paying for good internet, you would think that those same people are probably in a financial position to buy the good experience Xbox. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't they? Why would you buy the subpar experience if you're in a financial situation? Do you get what I'm getting at? It seems strange. It seems like the people that can't afford the good experience.
Well, that's it. This is the people who can't afford the high-end machine,
right?
Who are always tailing a generation behind.
But they're
still going to have good internet. They're still going to have good internet. If anything I've learned, and I work in the industry, people prioritize their internet package, I think, over every other service. People have way higher internet than they actually need in areas that it's available, right? They want the best possible. I've never had someone that wants the least. They always want the best.
Interesting. I definitely...
Because everyone's doing YouTube, they're doing Netflix, they have multiple users in their home. They always want the fastest internet. They could care less about home phone, they could care less about cable TV internet. You know, some people have all three, some people don't. But the most important thing is that they have good fast
That's
internet.
That's interesting. Right? It's because I talked to, obviously we both work in IT, slightly different, areas of IT, but in IT nonetheless. And I definitely run into places where people are, oh yeah, we have this, it seems fine, and I'm going oh man, I would definitely increase that. But that's interesting that you.
But you're in a work
totally
place,
yeah,
where it's just fine. They're not playing games. They're not doing movies.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's the big things people want the speed for. So these same people, if they're a hardcore gamer, they're going to get the box, right? If they're not, they might get the cloud device. The cloud device also does your Netflix, your iTunes. It's your cable cutting box. So it's like a sneak into the living room device, which has always been a play for Xbox, right? So if they get in that $100 range, they're undercutting Android boxes. They're getting into Shield territory.
You think they'd be able to get it that cheap?
The rumor is around a little over 100.
I mean, I could see it maybe under 200, but yeah.
Ignore this stupid box. You know what the play is here? The play is that you're going to have an Xbox app on your Samsung TV, not your Sony TV, but on your Samsung TV, on your TCL, on your Vizio, on your LG, right. And you're going to have an app, your Bluetooth Xbox controller.
To your device, and you just play games.
You're going to be playing Scarlett games at 1080p 60 straight on your TV with no console.
Right.
A subscription package that's just Game Pass, Xbox Live, and whatever the hell they call this new... I guess they're just going to roll it all together into one thing, have people paying for the Netflix of Xbox. This is their big long-term play, as all this stuff eventually is going to be streaming, whether people can see it or not, like it or not, have their if and or buts about lag, complain about speed. Everyone in major metropolitan areas have fiber and very fast internet. That's where your big whales are. That's where your biggest customers are. It sucks to be in the middle of America, middle Canada, and everywhere else that has crap internet. But there's more haves than have-nots. Obviously, the people with poor internet complain very, very loud. I had bad internet until we had fiber in my area. But this is a very viable play for the future of gaming.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely. Because when this is on your TV and it's Netflix stole the TV industry from the cable companies because they slept on it.
Yeah, no, that's true.
They stole the movie business from Hollywood because they slept on it. They came in the back door. So what I see here is not this... Yeah, for the old school people that are adamant about, I don't do anything in the cloud. I need to have my stuff local on my machine.
Right.
It's just better because I'm old school and I have to have my files on my computer because I don't trust the cloud. That's an old method of thinking.
Yeah, I mean, that or they just don't want to.
Of course, when you get lag, man, and you have that second of disconnect, your game's ruined. Don't get me wrong.
It can be problems, ruined, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
It can be. But with, the way they do prediction in multiplayer games, people already have lag. Just because you're playing the game locally, that hasn't removed the distance from you playing with the guy in New York in Call of Duty.
Nope.
Whether you're streaming your game or not, multiplayer or not, because this is the argument I keep hearing people say on other podcasts and other websites. Well, when I'm not playing local and I'm streaming, the distances and the lag and the this and the that already exists. There's already lag. You're playing with people hundreds, if not thousands of kilometers away from you. There's prediction in multiplayer. There's all kinds of technology that happens to minimize the effects of lag. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's a cool play for me. Of course, I'm going to buy the hardcore one, right? Because why not? And then the cool thing is I could buy the cheap version
and stick it in your various rooms.
Have it
one in
my other room, my living room. My bathroom.
You could be like playing the Halos and the Xboxes while you're taking a poop. I mean,
if you listen to this podcast a couple weeks ago, and I talked about the NVIDIA Shield and the GeForce Now experience that I had at E3, and I played Shadow of the Tomb Raider, 1080p 60. And I just had finished playing it on a 4K SLI 1080 machine. And I swear to God, the streamed version of the game on the Shield looked just as freaking good. And I had no lag or any input lag or anything.
Yeah.
How could I justify spending the money on that PC when the Shield ran it just as well?
Well,
the only thing I couldn't brag about is on the PC, it was 4K. Right. But who gives a shit? They both looked amazing.
Well, I mean, like I said, I played an entire night of Fortnite at my office running off of the Shield, essentially the app.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people.
And once you've experienced it, it's surprisingly don't get me wrong, it was not as good as playing locally, but it was so close that it was, as you say, good enough. And that's I feel like where we're getting to, right?
When I played that Shadow of the Tomb Raider at E3 this year, it was just as good, if not better, because for the fact that I was playing on what is a Shield US $200 on a $200 box.
Yeah, they're like $199
compared to what is the SLI 1080 PC? That's a minimum of a $2,500, if not $3,000 computer.
No, you could definitely do it lower than that.
Well, what's two 1080s is like $1,400, isn't it? $1,200?
Oh, you're saying an SLI rig, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's because that's what I played. You need
at least two 1070s because that's the lowest you can go for SLI now.
Yeah, because that's what I was playing in 4K. And on 1080p over the net, super ultra settings, right? Like it's all the effects, all the visual effects. Get over the 1080p resolution thing. The visuals and the effects and everything that was on screen, it's all the bells and whistles on.
Yeah.
So it's not the same 1080p as like a game that's 1080p on PS4.
Right.
It's like 1080p on a high-end PC. Yep. That's the differentiator. I don't know. I think this is Microsoft going, you know what? We're going for the long game. We've lost the battle. We're aiming for the war. And I think it's a brilliant play because whoever gets that icon on all the TVs, on the phone, Phil Spencer even said it. We're going to be streaming to all screens. He said it at E3. So this is also going to come to your mobile phone. If I'm playing Xbox One quality games with my Bluetooth controller on my cell phone, there's my Switch solution. I don't need to make a mobile hardware system. Everyone has that mobile system. It's a phone in their pocket. The Switch is a freaking mobile chipset. It's a freaking cell phone. It's obviously more.
Yeah, it runs. I mean, it's
debatable. I'm making some stretches here, but you know what I mean.
It's running modified cell phone. I mean, modified mobile hardware. It's tablet hardware. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
So, but you see my stretch here. Everyone has something in their pocket that is capable of being equivalent, if not even better than a Switch already. Yes, not as nicely packaged with the nice form factor with the built-in controllers. It's going to be a little janky with clips and stuff, but like I have that 8-bit dual analog stick. I played through Castlevania Bloodlines on my cell phone this year. On my cell phone, and it was perfect. If I could play Destiny, I have played Fortnite or PUBG, though, even though PUBG doesn't support controller. But if Xbox support comes to my cell phone and I can stream it everywhere, then I can go to my laptop and then I can go to my TV, and I don't know, man. I think that's a huge play. As much as some people like to poo-poo on streaming, I don't think they have the same experience. And I feel like a lot of podcasts that I listen to, either they don't have good internet in their area or haven't had the same experience as we have. I kind of feel like I'm like one of the few people out here screaming to everyone else, like, no, it's actually good.
Yeah, no, it's surprisingly good.
Buddy from Ubisoft is not crazy. These rumors of streaming are not crazy, but I feel like I'm the crazy person here the only one defending it because I've seen it work.
Yeah, I think. I mean, like I said, I think that once you see it happen and work, it's surprisingly. It's a thing that
and it's only gonna get better.
That's the thing. Like it's
only gonna
kind of
get
amazing
better.
Is the fact.
Like you don't see. This is the funny thing. You don't hear anyone complain about Netflix. I don't want to stream my movies. I want to play my movie on the Blu-ray DVD locally in my machine.
Man, that being said, if I own Blu-rays, I would rather play Blu-rays because do.
Nobody makes that complaint when it comes to streaming.
No,
movies.
It's true. I mean, if I can watch them on my Blu-ray, I definitely will because they're
4K on Netflix looks fantastic. Of course, a totally uncompressed 4K Blu-ray
is going to look better.
Sure. But it's not going to look better if you have a fast internet connection and the streaming service allows you to get the same bit rate.
Yeah.
It's totally
the
possible.
bit rate between those two is insanely.
But it absolutely depends on connection, of course, and that's the big variable.
And it doesn't help that the other problem that I think that you're forgetting though is that meanwhile everything is going towards streaming, and yet our ISPs are turning around being assholes and going like, oh well, we've had internet for...
It's true. Bandwidth caps are probably the biggest challenge to this.
We've had no bandwidth caps for decades now with the internet. And now in the last 5 years, we've got our ISPs going like, well, we're greedy assholes, so we're going to implement bandwidth caps now. Like, fuck off. All that stuff pisses me off. Like, that stuff should have been illegal when it was talked about. And now that it's happening, like it's just a money grab for them. It's so painful. That stuff makes me so angry. And that's going to be the biggest thing towards, like you said, streaming and stuff is amazing. But now we've got people for the first time ever having fucking bandwidth caps. And that's shit. It sucks. That's dumb.
Yeah, it is. It is dumb, but this is, that's ISPs trying to make money off of all these people going over top their services and their infrastructure. I don't want to talk about it because it's kind of getting close to home.
No, I hear you. I get it.
It's a touchy subject, but yeah, it is dumb. Like I think bandwidth, it's like long distance. It's just another cash grab.
It sucks.
It's a made up cash grab because they can't charge on the back end to. Well, but the thing is, they do. This stuff already exists, even though, everyone's fighting about net neutrality and all this stuff. I know ISPs and a lot of other people charge Netflix and charge these guys for premium access to customers and to not throttle serve. Well, I don't know. I assume.
Right. Yeah, no, it's, anyways, yeah, we can.
I think it's cool. A solution for the people that don't believe in it.
Yeah.
And then a solution that's going to be the foot in the door. That's how you sneak in, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The low cost. This is that $99 Xbox that they've talked about forever. It's obviously it's going to be a little more, but this is the device that one day will be $99.
Yeah.
And or even down the road one day, like I call it now. It's going to be an app on the TVs, and it's clearly going to be an app on the phones.
Well, I mean, we're already seeing that with Steam and stuff like that, right? Download the app.
Yeah, Steam Link is on Samsung. It's not in Canada, but it's on the American Samsung TVs.
Yeah, but I just mean it's an Android app. You can just download it, right?
Oh yeah, and that's right. There is the Android app.
Which I keep forgetting about. I need to actually download that and try it.
I have it downloaded. I haven't got to.
I meant on my TV, download it to my TV and try it.
Oh yeah, because you got
exactly.
TV. That'd be pretty cool.
I gotta remember to do that when I'm done. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, that's it for news. But I got a little surprise.
Yes,
I got another month of Xbox Game Pass to give away. So get your pens ready. Go to your Xbox.com/redeem page, or I don't even know what the hell it is. I don't think it even says on here where to redeem. It just says Xbox.com/Game Pass to learn more.
There you go. Just redeem code, as far as I'm aware.
Here we are. For information on how to redeem codes, log into your account on Xbox.com/redeem code. Okay, it's loaded up. You got it?
All right, good.
V J J J Y Q 9 G 4 M V K X 9 F 9 6 3 Y X G Y D Y Z. Again, V J J J Y. Sorry. Q9G 4M VKX 9F 963 YX GY DYZ. Why I was laughing is because like the JJ. Oh god,
you're 12.
I'm such an idiot. Yes, I am 12. I'm a 12-year-old trapped in a old man's body. Moving along for free for all. I was like saying, man, I thought this was gonna be a short show. Looking at our outline, it turns out to be a freaking long. We had a long story time.
All the story time.
I'm gonna have to cut it out. I'll just edit it all out. Make it bonus. No, I'm not gonna edit it out. I ain't got time.
There you
for
go.
that shit.
Exactly. That's what I thought.
Moving along to our free for all. I saw Ready Player One. It is now available on Blu-ray, DVD, and 4K HD Ultra HDR.
What'd you think?
And I think it's on, and I'm obviously positive it's on demand streaming services as well. It was provided to me by WB. They were so nice to have sent me the disc.
Lucky.
I did watch it in 4K.
Also lucky.
Very, very pretty movie.
It is pretty.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool. It's a neat concept. The VR world that everyone lives in because the real world sucks, but it's definitely a little far-fetched. There's a couple cheesy parts here and there, but overall, like all the nostalgia, man, is there. This game. It is like a game. It's like a game movie. Literally is.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's like brimming, like seeping, overflowing with like nostalgia references. Modern, old, current. Like you got Overwatch, Street Fighter, Jesus, Dungeons and Dragons, Iron Giant, Gundam, Godzilla.
Yeah.
I can't. Back to the Future, Akira. You name it. You name a pop culture reference.
It's probably in there somewhere.
It's probably in there. Like the battle scenes with characters' avatars. The whole premise, if you know nothing about Ready Player One, is basically everyone in the future. Life sucks. There's this, I guess, product called VR world called Oasis, and everyone's tied into it. It's basically anything you want. It's chat rooms, it's video games, it's casinos, it's
a lot of people even like
houses.
spend time in there to make money in the real world. Like it ties directly in. Like if you make money in the Oasis, you can actually use the currency in the Oasis to buy items in real life and have them sent to you. It's kind of crazy how it's integrated into the world.
It's whatever you want it to be, and the big premise of this movie is one of the creators has died in quotation marks because I don't know if he really did. Kind of leaves that up in the air a little bit. Anyway, he puts in an Easter egg in the game, hidden some quests, these keys, and it culminates with whoever finds this and solves this big puzzle, and it's all through like basically games, VR in this world, VR games. He's basically given up all his controlling stake in Oasis in his company, and basically it's like trillions of dollars, and you basically gain control of the Oasis.
Yeah.
And basically it's just a race to the finish line between, a bunch of kids versus corporation trying to take control of the Oasis to, basically take it over and turn it into like a disaster, like most corporations do, and or just people keeping it free, man.
You also have to remember too that when he passed and people found out about this, there was like a huge gold rush of where suddenly people were spending their whole lives in there to try and find these Easter eggs to try and gain control of the Oasis. And like,
the 3 keys to find the Easter egg, and literally no one has found one in 5 years since.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 10 years. Like, it was a long time.
It was 5 years. 5 years before the main character that the story goes along with, before he found the first key. And then obviously it goes from there. It's pretty cool, man.
It's really neat. Like,
only if VR was that rad in real life.
Yeah. Like I said, the movie's definitely got some challenges, and when you watch it, there's definitely a few stuff where you're like, okay. But that being said, like, I had a really good time with it.
I couldn't help, like, in every scene, like, oh man, there's a Protoss guy, or there's that.
Oh, hey,
it's like,
there's Spawn, there's Overwatch, there's
Batman.
Yeah. You kind of almost want to like pause it and just like look through. There's a lot of visual flair.
I feel like
film.
You could watch that movie like 10 times and still find something new every time. There's some really cool shit in that, like special effects wise.
Totally.
I wasn't a huge fan of his avatar, but that's just like an art style thing. But man, the whole is it spoiler if I talk about the hotel?
Kind of.
I'll just say the hotel. The hotel section is some of the most amazing special effects I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It is insane. I'm like, are you kidding me? How did they do this?
Steven Spielberg, man.
It's cool.
Steven Spielberg.
It's really freaking cool.
Yeah.
And the context and the content of that part of the movie is like, holy crap. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It's a cool movie. It's a fun movie, definitely. I'm really happy that I got to see it. I actually really wanted to see it in the movie theater.
I'm glad I saw it in the theater.
It came out was it last summer or was it spring?
Or no, it was like earlier this year in the spring.
It was earlier this year. Yeah, it was like one of the first like big. It was like the launch of like the summer blockbusters or spring. I feel like it came out in spring, right? Late spring.
Yeah, something like that. I didn't see it because
we don't get out to as many movies obviously because of our daughter. So it's it's big. We got to get someone to watch her. I wanted to see it in theater, never got to it. I'm really glad I saw it. I thought it was a pretty fun movie. I really
had a good time with it. Like I said, I think when we originally talked about it, I was worth seeing in the theater.
I really wanted to see it in the theater, but whatever. I saw it in my theater. The 4K theater.
Yeah.
Man.
I saw it in IMAX. What?
You saw a movie as well?
I did, actually. Funny enough, me and my wife were talking about some stuff, and we somehow got on the topic and realized that Super Troopers 2 was out. And we thought we'd go check it out, so we totally watched it. If you're a fan of the first one, I feel like you're probably going to enjoy the second one. I will say right off the bat, it's definitely not as good as the first one.
I don't even remember the first one.
Oh man. First one's pretty epic with just all the shenanigans those guys get up to, and just the ridiculousness of the whole thing is great. It was fun. We had a good time. I feel like it's one of those ones that it doesn't, part of it is because it is more of the same. It doesn't have that same impact that the first one did.
I remember liking the first one, but I feel like it was kind of overrated.
To each their own. I like I said, we had fun with it. It was
you guys ordered it on demand.
Yeah, we just grabbed it offline. Yeah,
it just came out.
It's fun as a Canadian because a whole premise of the film is like that. There's a chunk of there's a chunk of Canada that way back in the day was essentially they wrote the boundary wrong and it should have been part of the US. So it's going to end up as part of the US again. And like, there's a whole thing that goes along with it. And I mean, that part of it was pretty funny, seeing as like my wife and I obviously are, you know, she's American and I'm Canadian. And so we kind of straddle the border already. So it was,
you guys are used to,
yeah, so it was pretty funny for sure. You know, so yeah, if it's up your alley, check it out. It was worth it. You know, if you're hoping it's going to be as good as the first one, you will be disappointed, but I still think it was a fun time. So
that's worth the rental.
Exactly.
Nice. I saw it on the video store and I was like, I might have to watch that.
It's like I said, it was a fun like Saturday evening comedy, you know, worth a watch. So
Dayne, with
that's it, man. That's a show. We got it in the bits. We got it in the bites.
Yeah. I'm going to say we have a show. Make sure to like us, subscribe, follow, and everything else. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at Geekoholics. Whether you go to all those sites on a daily basis or not, just toss us the like, follow, subscribe, whatever. Join our Discord. Remember, if you do that, check out the welcome channel. Check out the link and directions to get yourself a free PC game.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed you win. You just got to show up.
I know. I'm surprised more people haven't done that
just
yet.
Make sure to DM me on Discord. Because I don't know if you've edited that file because I don't have notifications on to tag your name to one of the games you want. Make sure you DM me saying, hey, Rico, this is the game I want. And then
fair enough.
And yeah, follow me on Twitter at RickF, no KRICF.
As always, you can come bug me on Twitter at Dayne Cody, at DAYNECODY.
All right, people. Until next week, we're out.
Later.
Peace.